Welcome to another edition of Did You Know Doctor Who, or you may not know about Doctor Who. This time we're going to have a look at Oxygen. I hope you enjoyed. In his newsletter, Jamie Matheson revealed that Oxygen was originally intended as a prequel to his 2014 episode of Mummy on the Orient Express. This is the first occasion where Nardole joins the Doctor and Bill on an adventure after he was usually left behind on Earth. The two scenes of the blind Doctor were featured in an early teaser showing at the end of the Return of the Doctor Mysterio, except his eyes weren't cloudy in order to not spoil this plot point. On the fan show, Jamie Matheson worried that this episode would turn out too political due to its blatant anti-capitalist themes. Two references to Star Trek are made. The Doctor makes a speech about space being the final frontier, quoting the monologue that opens each episode of Star Trek the original series and Star Trek The Next Generation, and Nardole mentions the swish swish sound the door makes. The Doctor says he hates that noise. In an attempt to keep the Doctor on Earth, Nardole removed the fluid link. In the first ever Dalek story, the first Doctor pretended the fluid link needed replenishing with mercury to enable the TARDIS to take off and leave Skaro. Though not overtly stated, the electronic eye on these suits resembled HAL 9000's eye on board Discovery and the pods in 2001 A Space Odyssey. They also show lip reading as HAL did. The Doctor previously gave Davros some of his regeneration energy in the which is familiar and said, "It might just cost me an arm and a leg someday, or I'll be really little." His inability to regain his sight might be a side effect of that decision. The story is somewhat inspired by Alien, as at the end of the story, the Doctor reveals that the corporation that built the space station are behind the deaths of the space station's crew due to the corporation's profit-making system, and the deaths of the crew weren't due to a hack or malfunction. In Alien, the film's main protagonist Ripley discovers that the company had built the Nostromo space freighter and had secretly ordered the ship's science officer Ash to return to the alien to Earth, and the crew were expendable. Initially, the script was deemed too dark by Moffat, and the story was originally abandoned, but was resurrected as to concentrate on Bill. And finally, working titles for Oxygen was 0 Hour. And that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this very short edition of Did You Know Doctor Who. Oxygen doesn't really have a lot of facts out there about it. I think it's very clear-cut what this story is about. It's very anti-capitalistic. And whilst I do think that the themes do work well in its favour, I think the story itself is a very good story. Obviously, my own personal politics aside, it's still a very, very captivating story. It's a very creepy story, but it's also a story where the villain isn't necessarily some scary monster or alien, it's actually just humanity, which I know. It's a tried and done theme, but I think in this case it does it quite well, which is why this episode is remembered so fondly. It's a very, very good episode. Oxygen is a very memorable 12th Doctor episode. I mean, 12th Doctor is filled with very good stories, and 10th season in particular being absolutely fantastic. So yes, I think Oxygen is a very good story, and I think it does a very good job at pointing out to its themes, and I think it's a very, very entertaining story. It's a very creepy story, it's a very scary story, but it's a very, very well done story, and I think that's really a testament to how many people absolutely love this story and absolutely love this series as a whole. Hope you enjoyed this edition of Did You Know Doctor Who, and I'll see you next time.